Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony will begin in about 1 minute. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Major Jared Rickey, the Assistant Professor of Military Science and your Master of Ceremonies for today's event. On behalf of Lieutenant Colonel Tyler Jones, the Professor of Military Science at Providence College, I welcome you to the 2021 Patriot Battalion Army ROTC Commissioning Ceremony. Please rise for the entrance of the official party and the posting of the colors by the Hope High School Junior ROTC Color Guard. Please remain standing for the national anthem sung by Michael Damaris, lead maintenance technician, physical plant at Providence College, and the invocation by Father Sicard. Father Sicard.
Good afternoon. You can be seated. Appreciate the opportunity to be with you today on this momentous occasion for the 14 men and women who will be commissioned. And it's no less momentous for their families, and so I'd like to recognize and thank the parents and guardians of our ROTC cadets. They show tremendous character in choosing to serve, and that reflects well on you. I'm sure that you're feeling a range of emotions, and I hope that pride is foremost among them. Some of Providence College's first students were young men, and it was only men in those days, but young men who had served in World War I. PC was founded during the war and opened its doors less than a year after the war had ended. And in the intervening century plus, the college has proudly helped prepare men and women to serve and to lead. And that, of course, is no accident. Military service requires one to embrace many of the ideals that characterize Providence College, including commitment, fidelity, and responsibility. It is my hope and prayer that we have helped to sharpen these principles during your time with us. I know you will serve ethically and with high standards in the tradition of so many who've come before you. You have such a high calling which you have answered willingly. You will carry with you throughout your careers our grateful best wishes and our continuing prayers. And I offer the invocation. Blessed are you, God of mercy, who through the example of your patriarchs, prophets, and saints have given us models of courage and fidelity. Ever mindful of the cost paid for the liberty we possess, we ask you to send down your blessings upon the young men and women who so generously commit themselves to serving and protecting our nation. May they ever experience your firm support, gentle love, and compassionate healing. Let them find joy and honor in the special role they play. Be their power, protector, and strength, and in times of adversity, keep them safe. And to you be all glory, honor, and power forever and ever. Amen. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Father Sicard. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce the official party for today's ceremony. Starting at your left, our Father Kenneth Sicard, the President of Providence College. Lieutenant Colonel Promotable Michael P. Manning, our guest speaker. Lieutenant Colonel Tyler Jones, the Professor of Military Science of the Patriot Battalion at Providence College. Master Sergeant Richard Foist, Senior Military Instructor at Providence College. And lastly, we have Father Iriarte Andujar, Official Chaplain of the Patriot Battalion. Ladies and gentlemen, the Providence College Professor of Military Science, Lieutenant Colonel Tyler Jones.
Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Father. Cadets, family members, friends of the Patriot Battalion, and distinguished guests, thank you for joining us for today's ceremony. Father Sicard, Father Erie, of course, Lieutenant Colonel Manning, thanks for being here with us, and thanks for your steadfast support of this program and these outstanding cadets that sit before us. I must begin by congratulating our commissioning cadets. You've made it through the fire. Well done. Enjoy this well-deserved moment. There's a wonderful passage in Romans chapter 5 about perseverance. It states that we should glory in our sufferings because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. It's this hope that helps us to endure. There are times in life when we need not wonder why things happen, only to respond to the things that happen. These cadets that sit before us have endured great hardship over the past year. They did not just sit and complain or wait for someone else to find a solution. They overcame. They excelled under pressure in a difficult environment. As a result, this program improved, and these cadets, soon to be second lieutenants, have grown. There's a good parable that I heard recently in line with this. In the parable, there's a chef who's trying to prove a point to his complaining daughter. The chef places a potato, an egg, and ground coffee beans into 3 pots of boiling water. As you can imagine, the potato turned soft, the egg became hard, and the coffee beans turned into coffee. I mean, who doesn't like coffee, right? The moral of the story is that the potato went in strong. It went in strong, hard, and unrelenting, but it became soft and weak under the adversity. The egg went in fragile with its thin shell, but it became hard and bitter. However, the coffee beans, they were unique. They endured grinding and the same hot water, but they changed the water and created something new. These three items faced the same adversity, but they reacted differently. There is likely a long and difficult road that lies ahead. As I've said before to our cadets, I challenge you to take on the difficult tasks, the things that others avoid. You force yourselves out of your comfort zone. This is where the greatest growth occurs. Don't be afraid to fail. Lastly, I like to say, have fun. Yes, it may be tough. There may be some long and difficult days, but in the end, you will look back over your years of service to this great nation and remember the fellowship, the overcome adversity, and the pride in all that you've accomplished. Don't let yourself get trapped into focusing on the difficulty. Take a moment in the midst of it to remember what you have done, who you're with, and that in some sadistic way, even these difficult things are fun. Remember, you have proved it this year. It isn't about what happens to you, it's about how you respond. Well, enough from me. You all hear from me all the time. You're forced to listen to me. There's another here who knows this program well. And again, you haven't been forced to listen to him all year. So it is my distinct pleasure to welcome back Lieutenant Colonel Promotable Mike Manning. Mike Manning began his 21-year active duty career when he received his commission as an infantry officer through this very program in 1997. He's a graduate of the Infantry Officer Basic Course, the Infantry Captain's Career Course, Airborne School, Ranger School, the College of Naval Command and Staff, and the Maritime Advanced Warfighting School. In 2020, Mike completed a National Security Fellowship at the Fletcher School, Tufts University. He holds a Master of Arts degree in National Security and Strategic Studies from the U.S. Naval War College. In 2008, he was awarded an honorary degree of Doctor of Public Service from his alma mater, Providence College. Lieutenant Colonel Manning has served at every level from platoon to division, including 48 months as the commander of the 173rd Infantry Regiment, or Infantry Detachment, Long Range Surveillance, and 21 months as the commander of the Recruiting and Retention Battalion, Rhode Island National Guard. Mike has deployed to Kosovo, Iraq, and Afghanistan. His awards and decorations include the Bronze Star Medal with Oak Leaf Cluster, the Defense Meritorious Service Medal, the Meritorious Service Medal with 4 Oak Leaf Clusters, the Army Commendation Medal with 2 Oak Leaf Clusters, the Kosovo, Operation Iraqi Freedom, and Operation Enduring Freedom campaign medals, the Parachutist Badge, the Combat Infantryman Badge, and the coveted Ranger Tab. Mike currently serves as a professor of practice of leadership at the Gordon Institute of Engineering Leadership at Northeastern University in Boston, Massachusetts. He also serves as a director of plans for the Rhode Island National Guard and as a senior instructor at the Joint Special Operations University, where he has instructed the Special Operations Command Design Way and facilitated applied research inquiries. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guest speaker, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Manning.
Lieutenant Colonel Jones, thank you for the kind introduction, and thank you for having me here today. Father President, Patriot Battalion Chaplain Father Erie, the distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Mike Manning. It is my distinct honor to deliver remarks at today's commissioning, celebrating the achievements of the Army's newest lieutenants. What a remarkably happy day for our commissionees and their families, and what a great day to be in the Army. Father Sicard, thank you for your comments and your presence here today. I know this is a special occasion for you as well, as today marks your first commissioning as the President of PC. As you are well aware, the Army and the college have enjoyed a mutually beneficial union since the inception of the relationship, going back to the Army Specialized Training Program in the early 1940s. As my beloved mentor, Professor Richard Deasy, used to remind us, the Army saved the college during World War II when PC nearly closed her doors due to low enrollment. During the Vietnam War, PC repaid the gesture and saved the Army when the college served as the host for a multitude of satellite schools from across the region who had shuttered their ROTC programs. Father President, as with your predecessors across the decades, thank you for all that you have done for the battalion and for what you will continue to do as the President. The positive role that Providence College and our sister institutions represented here today has played in the formation of these commissionees must not be understated. Simply put, the college has done its job and left an indelible mark on their lives. Being back here on campus, on this hallowed ground, the grotto, compels me to recall the individual contribution of Dominicans who served in the military, especially the Army, throughout the years. Names like Neely and Doyle come to mind. These men were giants. But for me and for many others, one name rises above all the rest. The Silver Fox himself, Father James Driscoll. Father D served as an infantry first sergeant during the invasion of Normandy. He was a lion among men, and they came no better. And now we can add the name of yet another Dominican to the rolls. Chaplain, Lieutenant, Father James Cuddy. Father James is here with us today. I've known Father James since our days at PC together, and I can tell you without any reservation that I like everything about him with one exception. He joined the Navy. I know, believe me, I know, it's both shocking and scandalous, and James, it's actually hurtful as well. And all one can say upon hearing news such as this is what a waste of a perfectly good chaplain. And now for the really good stuff. Class of 2021, year group 21. I cannot convey to you how excited I am to spend time with you this afternoon. In advance of crafting these comments, I did what any officer worth his salt would do. I communicated with my NCOs, some of whom I've known since I was Lieutenant Mike. Specifically, I asked them, what do these young officers need to hear from Manning? The initial responses from my colleagues were, as anticipated, light and not so light jabs at me. I heard comments such as, things must be pretty bad at PC. I would ask for my money back, or my favorite, you're offering commissioning remarks? I wouldn't go. After the playful banter, we got down to work and had a really meaningful conversation around a number of topics. During the remaining time I have with you today, I intend to share a few key takeaways from conversations with my non-commissioned officers and other trusted agents. Lesson number 1, year group 21. We're here to celebrate you today. But please, and this is a reminder for all of us assembled here, don't lose sight of the fact that there's one constituency not represented here today that will benefit the most from your ability to reconcile mission first and people always, your soldiers. Today is about those beautiful soldiers with whom you have not yet been acquainted, who will be entrusted to your care, a most sacred trust. Years ago, I had the pleasure of working for Colonel Steve McGonigal, Colonel Mack, when he was serving as the professor of military science here at PC. Colonel Mack, in both word and deed, lived the maxim, people are the mission. Everything Mack did was by, with, and through others. He had this remarkable ability to unlock the greatness which exists in each and every one of us. He loved us, and this love was catalyzed by sacrifice. The best of you, the best of us, will find a way to make this a reality. In the words of the great Master Sergeant Tommy O'Hare, strive to be the type of leader that the troops are afraid to let down. Not because they're afraid of you, but because they're afraid to let you and in turn themselves down. Take care of Joe, and Joe will take care of the mission. Lesson number 2, don't try and be something you are not. Instead, be proud of what you are and be the best at whatever you are. Meeting administrative personnel, mechanics and cooks that are proud and capable was always infinitely better than meeting folks who tried to be just like you fill in the blank. Lead from a position of strength, not weakness. What enables this? It's humility. Humility is the seedbed for all the other virtues. Humility allows us to see ourselves as we truly are. And finally, humility allows us to unabashedly and with great confidence unveil our true self authentically. Being authentic allows for trust to take root among the leader and those entrusted to his or her care. No trust, don't leave the house because you've already lost. Lesson number 3, always know what right looks like and always do it because it saves lives. If you don't do what's right at 1300 on a Tuesday in garrison, you won't do it at 0300 while deployed. There's only one way to do things the right way. War, combat, deployments, field training exercises, they're easy. All you have to do is the right thing every day, and that isn't easy. There was a lesson I learned a long time ago in Iraq as a young detachment commander, care of Quarter Horse Command Sergeant Major Rose. He exhorted us to never choose to violate a known standard. As a leader, you must first and always ensure values alignment for yourself and among members of your team. For me, your character, your values in use, your behavior is eminently more important than your ability to be good at your job. Above all, never willfully choose to violate a known ethical or moral standard. These types of violations are particularly egregious and damning, resulting in moral injury, which is a wound to the soul, and the complete and total erosion of trust among members of the team. Know the truth, pursue the truth, defend the truth. For you PC grads assembled here today, always follow your school's motto, Veritas. This is your north-seeking arrow and life compass. Lesson number 4. This lesson was provided to me by one of my favorite cadets of all time and fellow Patriot Battalion alum, Rabbi Major Aaron Rozovsky. Per Raz, in the Talmud, or Jewish scripture, there is the following phrase, Kol Israel Aravim Ze Baze. All Israel is responsible for one another. The same holds true in the Army. We're responsible for and to one another. If a soldier is sexually assaulted or harassed, we're all responsible. If a unit does not call out a toxic leader, we're all responsible. And if soldiers witness an unsafe act and say or do nothing, we're all responsible for that as well. The bottom line is that we are a family. And while being family is often ugly and messy, we take care of each other. Family is sacred. As a young Army leader, you must practice personal courage in all things, both big and small, every single day. And let me share with you, here's the path to successfully doing this. Your paradigm, your focus must be other people. Look outwardly, always. It is your soldiers and members of the Army team. Protect them to the best of your ability. Be the shepherd. If you can adopt this as your mindset and as your personal approach, you will be infinitely successful. Lesson 5, our final lesson. Remember that you're much more than a second lieutenant and an officer in the United States Army. Do not let the Army become your sole identity or the totality of your life. Never forget that you're someone's son or daughter, brother or sister, grandson, granddaughter, nephew, niece, friend, and one day husband, wife, spouse, partner, and future mother or father. As wonderful and incredible as the Army is, and it really is this good, always, always put your family first. If you remember anything today from my remarks, I implore you to walk away with this lesson in your hearts. The Army ends for all of us. If your class is anything like my class, the majority of you will depart the ranks of the Army either after your first tour of duty or your second. At some point, you will either separate or retire. Never forget this. I'm addressing you today as a man who too often failed to get this piece right throughout my own career. While I served selflessly, I also served selfishly at times. And along the way, I hurt those closest to me. Don't be this guy or girl. I have found in my life, when I reflect and look back, the times when God was at the center of my life, the anchor point, those were the times that I was the best version of myself. The best husband, father, son, brother, friend, and leader. You are about to swear a sacred oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. It has been said that the Declaration of Independence was the promise, the Constitution was the fulfillment. The oath of office links you to the line of militiamen going back to 1638 here in the great state of Rhode Island and the founding of the country. And as Secretary of Defense Mattis suggested back in 2017 at West Point, this oath originates from ancient roots, illustrating the commitment of young soldiers from another time who believed freedom is worth dying for. And it is. Your oath, our oath, is the same oath that was taken by soldiers serving the ancient city of Athens. These same soldiers pledged to fight for the ideals and sacred things of their city, to revere and obey the city's laws, and do their best to incite a like respect, and to pass on the city of Athens far greater and more beautiful than they had received it. And so this is our charge as Army officers, as soldiers, to deter those determined to undermine the first principles inherent to the Constitution for personal gain and power, and to protect this beautiful idea, which is the United States of America. This is our why. Our how is our soldiers, who comprise the most beautifully diverse and powerful team ever assembled in the history of the world, the U.S. Army. While today is a joyful day, let us not forget that on this day, in a few moments, the mantle of responsibility will be placed on your shoulders. And it is an awesome responsibility. Protecting mothers, fathers, daughters, and sons around the world is serious business. Yours will be a wonderful journey, but there will be hardship, there will be struggle, there will be failure. And so I ask you to be gentle with yourself. Forgive yourself when you stumble along the way, and I assure you, you will, and that's okay. Further, be gentle and accepting of others as well. Demonstrate your willingness to be the kings and queens of second chances in the lives of your people. Please know that you're ready. You've been well prepared by the institutions that you represent, and also, especially, by the magnificent Patriot Battalion cadre led by Lieutenant Colonel Jones and Master Sergeant Foist. And the staff, the Patriot Battalion staff, fronted by the incomparable Lorraine Sherlano. So trust yourselves. Reflect back on your education, on your experiences here with the battalion, and your love for your teammates. Draw strength from each of these. And lastly, please also remember that you're here today because family and friends believed in you. As such, we, along with you, owe them a debt of gratitude. To the moms and dads and guardians present here today, thank you for all that you two have done. Thank you for the gift of your soldier. Patriot Battalion Commissioning Class of 2021, you have made us all proud, and we are blessed to have you in our ranks. God bless, go Friars, and thank you for going Army.
Thank you for the words. A small gift of our appreciation for your words and for being here today.
Thank you for having me. It means the world. Thank you. God bless. God bless you guys.
It's the time. It's the time we've been waiting for. Since 1775, more than 42 million Americans have raised their right hand to take an oath, making America's military what it is, the premier fighting force in the world and a values-based institution closely bound to our nation and its people. They have taken that oath not to a king or any particular politician, but to our Constitution. This oath and the commission of a military officer is a visible symbol of their commitment and the faith entrusted to them by the people of this great nation. There exists no other profession in our society where such totality of obligation is expressed in terms so simple yet so profound. Since the cold winters of Valley Forge to our current worldwide commitments, our nation has entrusted its youth and treasure to the men and women who hold commissions as officers in the armed forces. Today, 14 graduates will stand, raise their right hand, and take an oath as a commissioned officer in the United States Army. One who's graduating is fully qualified but is awaiting medical clearance. Pending the results, Cadet Jack Johnson will conduct his oath during a separate commissioning ceremony, which will be another glorious day. At this time, I ask the commissioning class of 2021 to please stand for the commissioning oath of office. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Having been appointed an officer in the Army of the United States in the grade of second lieutenant, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Jones. All National Guard second lieutenants remain standing. All others, you may be seated. I will now administer the state oath to the National Guard lieutenants. National Guard lieutenants, please raise your right hand. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Rhode Island against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the Governor of the State of Rhode Island, that I make this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Second Lieutenant in the Army National Guard of the State of Rhode Island, upon which I am about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations. Lieutenants, go ahead and take your seats. During the final years as cadets following their branching, each commissionee is allowed to wear the branch insignia on their Army service uniform. Each of the commissionees has the rank covered with felt that is the same color as their branch. Today, each officer has the felt removed as they officially become second lieutenants in the United States Army. The lieutenants will then move to conduct their first salute. Since ancient times, men-at-arms have rendered some form of salute as an exchange of greetings. The method of saluting has varied throughout the ages, as it still varies in some form between different armies today. Yet, whatever the form, the salute pertains to military personnel, and its use is restricted to those in good standing. The military salute today, as it has been for ages, a unique exchange of greetings and respect between soldiers. The ceremony you are about to witness is a milestone in the careers of these new lieutenants, as each is about to receive and return their first salute. It is customary to pass a silver dollar to the service member who renders an officer their first salute. Will anyone who is participating in the first salute portion please move to the front left of the seating area at this time? For everyone else, please feel free to move about the area, take pictures, and applaud as you like throughout the ceremony. Lieutenants, as your name is called, please stand and come forward and have your felt removed to be officially commissioned as second lieutenants in the United States Army. Second Lieutenant Michael Casey. Will Michael's parents, Timothy and Julie Casey, please remove his felt? Michael is commissioned into the infantry branch and will attend his basic officer course at Fort Benning, Georgia. Second Lieutenant Casey receives his first salute from and presents the traditional silver dollar to Master Sergeant Richard Foist. Second Lieutenant Alexander Della Bianca. Will Alexander's parents, Michael and Deborah Della Bianca, please come forward and remove his felt? Alexander is commissioned into the military intelligence branch. However, he is branch detailed into the field artillery and will attend his basic officer course at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Second Lieutenant Della Bianca receives his first salute and presents the traditional silver dollar to Sergeant First Class Aaron Kearns. Second Lieutenant Dylan Destin. Will Dylan's parents, Michael and Dawn Destin, please come forward and remove his felt? Dylan is commissioned into the Transportation Corps and will attend his basic officer course at Fort Lee, Virginia. Second Lieutenant Destin receives his first salute from and presents the traditional silver dollar to Master Sergeant Richard Foist. Second Lieutenant Catherine Fama. Will Catherine's father, Jim Fama, and her sister, Bridget Fama, please come forward and remove her felt? Catherine is commissioned into the Medical Corps. She has earned an educational delay and will begin medical school at the University of Connecticut in the fall. Second Lieutenant Fama receives her first salute from and presents the traditional silver dollar to Master Sergeant Richard Foist. Second Lieutenant Caleb Gibbons. Will Caleb's parents, Christopher Gibbons and Kim Cole, please come forward and remove his felt? Caleb is commissioned into the infantry branch and will attend his basic officer course at Fort Benning, Georgia. Second Lieutenant Gibbons receives his first salute from and presents the traditional silver dollar to his father, Command Sergeant Major retired Christopher Gibbons. Second Lieutenant Jackson Gordon. Will his parents, Charlie and Andrea Gordon, please come forward and remove his felt? Jackson is commissioned into the infantry branch and will attend his basic officer course at Fort Benning, Georgia. Second Lieutenant Gordon receives his first salute from and presents the traditional silver dollar to his brother, Specialist Xander Gordon. Second Lieutenant Jordan Hoey. Will Jordan's parents, Michael and Joanna Hoey, please come forward and remove his felt? Jordan is commissioned into the Air Defense Artillery Branch and will attend his basic officer course at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Second Lieutenant Hoey receives his first salute from and presents the traditional silver dollar to Master Sergeant Richard Foist.
Pleasure's all mine, sir.
Second Lieutenant Carl Hyatt. Will Carl's parents, Mike and Kathy Hyatt, please come forward and remove his felt? Carl is commissioned into the Transportation Corps and will attend his basic officer course at Fort Lee, Virginia. Second Lieutenant Hyatt receives his first salute from and presents the traditional silver dollar to Sergeant First Class Aaron Kearns. Second Lieutenant Justin Johnson. Will his mother, Susan Johnson, and his grandfather, John Yellowchuck, please come forward and remove his felt? Justin is commissioned into the aviation branch and will attend his basic officer course at Fort Rucker, Alabama. Second Lieutenant Johnson receives his first salute from and presents the traditional silver dollar to his grandfather, retired Seaman First Class John Yellowchuck. Second Lieutenant Elizabeth Matza. Will Lieutenant Colonel Jones and Master Sergeant Foyce please remove her felt? Elizabeth is commissioned into the Transportation Corps and will attend her basic officer course at Fort Lee, Virginia. Second Lieutenant Matza receives her first salute from and presents the traditional silver dollar to Sergeant First Class Aaron Kearns. Second Lieutenant Colin McCadden. Will his parents, Brian and Donna McCadden, please come forward and remove his felt? Colin is commissioned into the Signal Corps and will attend his basic officer course at Fort Gordon, Georgia. Second Lieutenant McCadden receives his first salute from and presents the traditional silver dollar to Sergeant First Class Aaron Kearns. Second Lieutenant Brian Powell. Will his parents, Alan and Mary Martha Powell, please come forward and remove his felt? Brian is commissioned into the aviation branch and will attend his basic officer course at Fort Rucker, Alabama. Second Lieutenant Powell receives his first salute from and presents the traditional silver dollar to Master Sergeant Richard Foist.
The privilege is all mine, sir.
Good job, Brian. Second Lieutenant Sarah Russo. Will her mother, Donna Grader, and her boyfriend, Bruno Abatessa, please come forward and remove her felt? Sarah is commissioned into the Medical Services Corps and will attend her basic officer course at Fort Sam Houston, Texas. Second Lieutenant Russo receives her first salute from and presents the traditional silver dollar to her grandfather, Sergeant Retired Ernest Anthonus. You didn't think I was going to say it, did you? And last in our program, but number one in our hearts, Second Lieutenant Matthew Woolahan. Will his parents, Daniel and Patricia Woolahan, please come forward and remove his felt? Matthew is commissioned into the infantry branch and will attend his basic officer course at Fort Benning, Georgia. Second Lieutenant Woolahan receives his first salute from and presents the traditional silver dollar to Master Sergeant Richard Foist.
Privilege is all mine, sir.
Lieutenants, on your feet. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause in congratulating the Army's newest second lieutenants. This brings the total number of lieutenants commissioned from the Providence College Army ROTC program since 1951 to 1,995. Please be seated. At this time, the spring semester Cadet Battalion Commander, Second Lieutenant Jackson Gordon, will deliver remarks on behalf of the 2021 commissioning class. Jackson.
I want to apologize now for my raspy voice. I was singing too loud at Mass, Father. I promise. To my fellow classmates, we did it, Joe. This is my first speech as a second lieutenant, so as more than ever, I'll be bold, be brief, and be gone. I'll do my best. So it's surreal. This is a very special day for all of us. Every piece of suck we've experienced the last 4 years has all been worth it for this very day. And now I want to begin doing a few thank yous that are crucial. I want to begin by thanking everyone in attendance, both in person and online, as you all have played a pivotal role within our lives. As my father says, it takes a village, and I look around, and that's absolutely true. From grandmothers, aunts, uncles, friends, cousins, professors, everyone. It really does. So I first want to thank all of my friends that are here today. I would not be here without you guys, all the comic relief, supportiveness, being called G.I. Joe or Lieutenant Dan. And then I want to thank the professors who've been very accommodating to our schedules and have pushed us academically. Then to our instructors, we would be nowhere without you. You've guided us here and shown us what right looks like, for teaching us what character is, and that character means to be the leader you want to be led by, that the way you do one thing is the way you do all things, that it's better to be an hour early than a minute late, and there's no such thing as a good excuse. And of course, thank you to Miss Lorraine Sherlano, who's been a mother to us the last 4 years. We love you. And to Master Sergeant Foist and Major Ricky, who will be leaving our program. They've left it in much better hands and have made a great impact on all of us. Thank you, gentlemen. Now, my family. If I tear up, it's because of allergies. To Mom, Dad, Xander, and Blake, the support system you have given me is the reason I stand here today before you. The work ethic of my mother combined with the selflessness of my father, who taught high school for 51 years, showing me how to make an impact. All of these factors made the decision to serve second nature. And I want to give a special thank you to my brother, Specialist Gordon, who came all the way from his current deployment at the U.S.-Mexico border. Thank you. A few years ago, he was giving me monkey bites and Charlie horses, and today he rendered me a salute and called me sir. Time goes by fast, and the Army has forced me to grow up. I didn't want to. My freshman year, I arrived at my first ROTC workout, where the seniors told me that there are people training to kill you right now, or that I was a big target. Both encouraged me to run faster. And then, going into my junior year, I had to fill out a portion of my will, deciding where the money went if anything happened to me during summer training. I felt rich for a second. I have always wanted to be a part of the 1% in my adult life. There's the 1% of people that make close to $1 million a year, and those that serve in the military. Since I'm a political science major that can't budget money, this path seemed easier. In all seriousness, this has been a long time coming for me and my classmates. For me, it started in kindergarten when we had to draw what we wanted to be when we were older. Some people drew astronauts and race car drivers. I drew a soldier. So I will sleep well tonight, not because of the Coors Light, but because I can confidently say I'm living the dream. We began with 32 cadets our freshman year. Today we commission only 14 lieutenants, and what a hard-earned journey it has been. I remind myself that joy is a process, not an outcome. This 4-year process, for some of us, it started in high school. I look back on the process, and it is the people I shared it with I'm the most grateful for. By process, I mean my alarm going off at 5:45 in the morning too many times, being told to un-F myself, getting lost in the woods, shivering in the rain, yelling bang in the woods, wading through waist-deep swamp to lose my phone for 10 days. Now for the people. I'm standing in front of some of the most impressive people I've ever met in my life, people that have made me smarter. But I would be remiss, and my grandmother might kill me if I went to a Catholic institution for 4 years without quoting the Bible. So I'll continue. Psalm 1 reads, "Blessed is the one who does not walk in step with the wicked, or stand in the way that sinners take, or sit in the company of mockers." In other words, surround yourself with good people, people that build you up, that push you to give 100%, people that make you smarter, people that inspire you to work harder. From pacing each other on fitness tests, sharing the burdens of one another, learning from each other's strengths to improve our weaknesses. We've been there for each other every step of the way. I used to not be able to find a tree that was 50 feet in front of me in the woods, nor was Kat Fama able to hit a target 10 feet in front of her. But I can make that joke because I know very soon she'll be my boss someday. But I knew I could always seek the help of my peers without mockery, and for that I'm forever grateful. I was always told many times you don't want to see how the sausage is made, but it has been a privilege watching and being a part of the process in which future Army's officers are molded. I traveled to Morocco my junior year with the Army 2 years ago, and their government heard that we were coming. They ordered for full VIP escorts everywhere we went. The streets we walked were lined with AK-47s, and anybody that approached us was handcuffed and batoned right on the spot. I share this humbling experience of shop owners yelling, "U.S. military, get in here," who were so excited to tell me they were the first country that recognized our independence. And I share this experience because I remind you that we're joining the great fighting force that commands the respect of the world. To that I remind you, to whom much is given, much is required. Make excellence your habit because it's contagious. We're soon going to be scattered everywhere. Telebianca in Hawaii, McHadden in Korea, Mike, Northern New York. But remember your roots of the Patriot Battalion and bring the mentality that has been ingrained in our brains since we signed our contracts. Don't be average. Allow me to close with a quote that will bring this journey all together. Teddy Roosevelt said, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, and if he fails, at least he does it while daring greatly." That oath we just took. Welcome to the arena, my lieutenants. We are in the arena. Now it is up to us to dare greatly in all aspects of life. Meet adversity in the face, and if you're going to fail, make sure you fail big. Shoot for the moon. Take risks. Then and only then will we repay the Patriot Battalion and serve those that come before us with justice. To my underclassmen watching, keep your eyes on the prize. Don't waste a second. Time doesn't wait. You're going to be faced with many difficult decisions in the next years. Some will impact your life significantly. If you remember what's important to you, the decisions are easy. And it has been an absolute privilege serving as your battalion commander. But I must sign off. God bless America. Air assault.
Honestly, people, we're just glad he was standing up today. All right, so and please subscribe to his YouTube channel before you leave today's ceremony. Jackson, thank you. Before we conclude today's ceremony, we'd also like to give special thanks to the Dominican Fathers for their continued and outstanding support and participation. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the benediction by Father Erie, the playing of the Army Song, the departure of the official party, and the dismissal of the class of 2021.
Please bow your heads. As we come to the end of this ceremony, we give you thanks, Almighty God, for all that you have given us. We ask your blessings upon the families and friends and various educational communities who have supported the Patriot Battalion and its members, as well as all who have served in the armed forces. Thank you for those who have supported and nurtured the growth and education of our cadets and staff. Bless all who are present at the ceremony. Most particularly, watch over and bless with your love and protection these newly commissioned officers who will serve the United States Army. May they serve the commission in accord to Army values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. With a humble and understanding and human heart, guide them in serving by words and examples, becoming good leaders to those who are placed under their commands. Bless them with wisdom and strength, with confidence and faithfulness to their duties, to you and to our country. Make known your spirit and divine life to them in their daily lives, and may they always rely on your strength, your mercy, and your faithfulness. We therefore ask this in your holy name. Amen.
March along, sing a song with the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might. When the army goes rolling along, proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won. And the army goes rolling along. Then it's high, high, hey, the army's on its way. Count off the cadence loud and strong. For wherever we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along.
Guys. Lieutenant! Dismiss! This concludes the formal portion of the commissioning ceremony for the class of 2021. Thank you and congratulations again to the new lieutenants.